What's up, guys? Wayne here. We are going to be breaking down the transfer mercato, the recap. Who came in, who left. Some people sad, a lot of people happy. Generally speaking, really happy about this one and the way that it turned out. Also, we're going to look at the Juve Roma preview. What does the old lady have cooking along with Thiago Motta? See some of these suggested starting formations. We'll talk about Abdul and Hamid and what he's going to bring to this team. Just lost in the thought there looking at these probable formations on Gazzetta dello Sport. I'm going to share this with you real quick. We have Bologna Empoli kicking off just an hour and a half shy of this recording. Lecce versus Cagliari. And I'll share this with you. Lazio Milan, that's a good fixture. And not such a great starting lineup by Milan, though. Very lackluster, aside from maybe Fofana, Tomori, Magnan, Okafor. But they're strikerless. Speaking of without strikers, Napoli, Osimhen has been frozen out of the team after failing with a move not just to Paris Saint-Germain, but also to Saudi Arabia. Parma's been playing some pretty good football. They won over Milan last weekend. Dennis Mann scored the early goal. Fiorentina, Monza, Palladino yet to really get La Viola playing the way that he wants them. They don't look too fluid yet. It's still that Sigmundsson cannot play. I don't think he's for some reason registered yet, or he's unable. So he'll come in the fourth week. That would be next week. But we could see Biraghi there, Kolpani, Sotil, Kane, Richardson, Moroccan international, who I like a lot. He's been lighting it up for Fiorentina. And out at Monza, well, it looked like they were going to sign Perisic, but I think that transfer failed. Instead, some other familiar names there like Pessina, Djuric, Danny Mota. He's been with them for a couple of years now. Genoa Verona, not really having a good feeling towards the Grifone this season without Retegui or without Goodmanson. Verona look like they're going to be sticking around. But that brings us to our game that we're going to be discussing. Any others? Udinese, Como. Como have rescinded the contract, or I should say unregistered, Rafael Varane this season, as it looks like he's going to be injured for a long time. But let's take a look at how they have this set up on the field. Selic, Mancini, Indica, Angelino, then Cristante, Paredes, Pellegrini, with Dybala, Sule, and Dovbyk. That's pretty good. I think that Roma fans have pretty much turned away from Cristante almost 100% at this point. Now, I think this segues easily into those incoming transfers. And I want to take a look at this. I posted this on Twitter. These are all the players that have come in. Dovbyk, we know the La Liga's leading goal scorer from last season. He's powerful, he's tall, he hasn't scored yet in 2 games, but he will. Trust me, the kid's got a lot of goals in him. Sule, fantastic signing. I didn't even think that this could possibly get done in any type of way. He's a Roma player, and Roma also managed to keep Dybala. Those two, along with Paredes, they got this Argentinian contingency. Cool to see. But one player strong, he's fast. It totally changes the dynamic and raises the quality of this team. Samuel Dahl at left back, another prospect, young, also young, and relatively unknown. Enzo Lefebvre, the fairy. He's crafty, he's smart. I think that once the team gels together, you're going to see him really be able to play that he wants to, which is with fantasy and quick thinking. He's a real brain of this team. Angelino's move becomes permanent. I like that a lot. I want to see his inverted runs. Matthew Ryan, I guess, fine second keeper. I don't know much about him. Buba Sangare just turned 17 on August 7th. He is going to be playing with the Primavera, but he's already impressed at right back, so I'm looking forward to them. And Alexis Salamakers comes in on loan, solving the left wing issue, at least temporarily, maybe until January. We'll see what happens there and how he takes off. But that's what we've got right now. I think it's very good coming in. Going out, Well, Tammy Abraham, he goes out on a loan. I wish that was permanent. Um, my buddy Chris Smalling, we'll see what happens with him if he's going to be going to Saudi Arabia. Perhaps even Mats Hummels comes in. Solbakken went out to Empoli on loan. Kambula's out on loan. Bove, this one is a real tear jerker for Roma fans, goes to Fiorentina on loan. I don't know what the future looks like for him. Also, Darboe goes out on loan. I just saw that Faticanti went to Juve Next Gen, which I'm not thrilled about, ex-captain of Roma's Primavera. Pagano also went out on loan to Catanzaro in Serie B. I don't think that's the type of move he needed either. I think he should have been a vice Enzo De Fe, to be honest with you. So as I'm just looking through transfer market right now. But keep your eye on Saud Abdul Mahid, Saudi Arabian international, kept Vinicius on lock in the FIFA Club World Cup. Just €2.5 million here. Samuel Dahl almost doubled that. And we don't know who Samuel Dahl is, but I'm telling you, in Asia, Abdul Mahid is a household name. Okay, so 20 players incoming and spending about 91 million euros compared to the 18 income, because a lot of these players, unfortunately, were not sold off completely. They were more or less just players who were having big salaries like Rick Karstorp and ultimately found themselves being eliminated from the team in one way or another. We know that Rome is struggling, so I want to go back to the Gazzetta dello Sport preview here. When you look at Juventus, they're totally stacked. Fagioli, Locatelli has been playing good under Motta. They brought in, what's his name? His first name. Keferin, Thuram, the younger brother of Marcus Thuram and son of Lilian Thuram from Juventus, of course, legend. Weah is out until next week, so they've got their own injuries. Milik is also out, not that he would have been playing. They've got a pretty cool bench, though. Perin is out there, former Roma fan. Kalulu made his transfer from Milan. McKennie stuck around and extended his contract with Juventus. Douglas Luiz is there. Coop Miners has signed, as well as Nico Gonzalez and Kone Xiao. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. Maybe Adrian from Rabonic TV would definitely correct me on my Portuguese there. So this team is so heavily powerful right now, this Juventus. They've completely regenerated themselves. How? Juve Next Gen. They sold players like Sule and a bunch of others. You go further down the line. And now we see Yildiz with the number 10. He came from Next Gen. And Bangula, I think he has 1 or 2 goals and an assists now. I think he's under the age of 21, right? Cambiasso out on the right is projected to start. Savona. A bunch of these guys just came up through Juve Next Gen, which shows how important it is that teams emphasize getting a B team and grow these players and don't send them to Catanzaro in Serie B and just hope for the best. That's not an efficient way of doing things. Di Gregorio, also another new signing. But to be honest, I think you're going to see Coop Miners get minutes in. I think Nico Gonzalez totally is a great player to sign. Is it a little counteractive that they sold Sule and bring in Nico Gonzalez? Yeah, but it has to do also with the plus and minuses, the plus Valenza, and how they're able to justify through their accounting. That's why they did that move. It's all financial balancing stuff. As we look towards Roma, though, are there going to be any changes? Dovbik's definitely going to start. Dybala and Sule, they're going to start. I don't know if Cristante starts. There was this rumor that there was an argument between him and De Rossi. Maybe Kone steps in. I would love to see that. The way that that's going to happen is, in offense, Paredes will sit the deepest. Kone will go a little bit higher off of his shoulder, I think, and Pellegrini will be more central of the three, making more inverted runs. Whereas Kone being next to Paredes is going to be a wonderful thing, helping that transition from defense to offense. I don't think anything changes defensively. This looks pretty standard. Mancini and Indica partnership. I think Mancini's had a rough start to the season. Also, some nonsense reporters putting out stuff about him earlier this week. She went to Instagram and said none of this stuff is true. Just regard these terrible journalists, yada, yada, yada. Off the bench, though, let's see what GDS has for us. They're giving Zalewski a 45% chance to start over Sule. I highly doubt that. And I'm also surprised that Zalewski is still in the team. Nobody's disqualified. Lefebvre is out for another few weeks, and he'll come back after the international break. Nobody's on a yellow card. Joao Costa was just not called up. So watch that space too. Him and Sangare competing with one another, youngsters at the right back role. What will the bench look like? Number one player, Baldanzi. He's got to be, I think, entered into the fray more of like a player that De Rossi relies on. And that has become apparent. He played really good. Really good's a hard thing to say because when the team plays bad, you don't want to like single out one player for a performance. But he did good against Empoli, and he set up that goal that Shomorodov had. Maybe Shomorodov also gets a few more minutes. I wouldn't doubt that Baldanzi also gets the start here, perhaps. But I guess, when I look at those names, it's hard to see him start over Cristante or even Kone now. So El Shaarawy out on the left, off the bench. So this looks just about right. Samuel Dahl, we haven't seen him get any minutes yet. Guys, let me know what you think. We'll dive more into the Mercato in another episode. Once I get my microphone back, this isn't my usual setup. I know I keep saying that, but my family and I are still not living in our home. We're on the run, so to speak. So I'm just doing this straight from a MacBook. But throw a like up there, and I hope to chat to you guys soon, directly after Juve Roma, perhaps even in like the 85th minute, I might start up. So I'll talk to you soon. Ciao.